Hello and welcome back, everyone. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing the Fogn is Wrogn. And yes, that is exact spelling of the title of the Sudoku. It is not a misspelling. Now, you may be familiar with this series, and I can't actually remember which particular puzzle started it. The Wrogn series, where essentially all of the clues are kind of somewhat of a lie. Now, in this particular puzzle today that we're looking at, it's actually the fog that's a lie. All the rest is actually correct. Now, I deliberately picked this puzzle for a couple of reasons. Number one is, looking at the Friday puzzle, that it was actually upgraded to a 2-star difficulty rated puzzle. Well, I feel like I owe you guys something that's a little bit more approachable, which is what we have in store for today. Now, it is meant to be more approachable, but at the same time, it is one, this whole series of Wrogn, when you need to try and figure out which rule is broken and which one isn't, really messes with my head, and I've always struggled with them. So, whilst it is right now a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle, I may play it like a 2-star difficulty rated puzzle. We'll see about that soon. So, I try to represent the rule set here of this puzzle by having Sleuth essentially somewhat in fog, but not really fog. It's fake fog. And you can see that the fog, as a result, it's sort of messing with the color of his suit. You don't exactly know which one is the real version. Is it the one on the right? Is it the one on the left? We don't know. We're going to have to find out. Let's take a look at today's puzzle. So, the Fogn is Wrogn by Flinty. And we got the following set of rules. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Thankfully, at least that part is fine. Now, we've got broken fog. So even a correct digit may not clear the fog. And, I mean, normally, let's say this digit was meant to be... This is very difficult to demonstrate, of course. Let's say this digit was meant to be a 2. And normally when you place a 2, all of the cells around it, including the cell itself, would actually be displayed. However, under today's rule set, Flinty has somehow convinced the magician that is Sven that sometimes, even though the 2 is correct, it's not actually going to reveal any of the adjacent cells, and we're still going to have to rely on more clues. So I'm really interested to see how that will play out. Now, the killer cages, the value of the digits in a cage must sum to the total in the top left corner of the cage, and digits may not repeat within a cage. And I'm looking at all these cages, and I really don't want to actually try and show you what that means. But essentially, this 6th cage, which appears to me to look something like that, must contain 3 digits that add up to 6, and none of them can repeat. I'm not going to say much further than that, otherwise I will start solving it for you. Now, somewhere in this fog are Kropki Dots. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive in value, and digits separated by a black dot have values in a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's just see if we can replicate this somehow. Imagine for a second that this is a black dot. I know it's a black cross. What it's saying is it's in a 2-to-1 ratio, so for something like a 2, this could be 1 or 4, as in literally 2 to 1, or 4 and 2. As long as one is double the other, you're good to go. Now, equally, this couldn't have been a black dot, this could be a white dot. And it's going to appear pretty grey on the screen right now, but that would mean they would have to be consecutive, so they're really 1 apart. If it's a 2, this would be 1 or 3. Well, that's all the rules we have today. And I'm really curious to see how this Fogn is Wrogn will actually play out. So, if you feel a lot of uncovering this mystery, figuring out which side of Sleuth is actually correct and true, is it a green jacket, is it a blue coat, let's find out. Link will be in the description down below. And for me, I just need to restart the clock and see how I get on. So the cages that I was mentioning, these are forced. This is 1, 2, 3. 3 cells in 1 cage, adding up to 6. The minimum is 1, 2, 3, and that is indeed the maximum it can be to add up to 6. And we've got so many of these you can see around the grid. All of these are 1, 2, 3. We also have cages that are 3 that are in 2 cells. these, and these. And these can only be 1 and 2. And, you know, the reason I know that is, well, these two cells, you can see the cage is not complete. It's not finished off. You don't see that end line. It is extending to a second cell. And as soon as you get to 2 cells that add up to 3, there can be no more. Because if I go to a third cell, that would be 1, 2, 3, and then we're back to a cage that has to add up to 6 or more. Now, what does that tell us? That I'm not seeing. So it tells me 1 and 2 are in here. That has to be a 3. And, well, here's the Fogn, Wrogn. These are 1, 2. That has to be a 3 again. These are not 3. That's a 3. Again, because of this 1, 2. These are not 3. And this cycle repeats. And nothing is being revealed. I guess that's the whole point of this. So we know a lot about 3s at this point, such as there's a 3 up there, there's a 3 down here, there's a 3 somewhere in here. In fact, we can do better. There's 1, 2, or 3 in here because we've got 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 3 and 3. This is 1, 2, 3. We can do even better. We've got 1, 2 looking at this cell. Not all of them are 3. It's only this center cell that's a 3. That's a 3. And finally, the Fogn is not always Wrogn. And this is really as far as we're going to be able to take it unless it starts to reveal more for us. So let's think about the 25 cage. So with the 3, it's 22. And remember, I don't have 1 and 2 available. So the absolute minimum I can make this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, which add up to 9, 6, 7, 9 and 13, 22 plus 3, 25. Yep, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. And these 2 are 8, 9. Again, not very helpful. 13 cage. So this is at least 3 cells, because clearly even 2 and 9 only gets me to an 11. So at a minimum, it's a 3-cell cage. And it's a 3-cell cage that doesn't include 1, 2, and 3 in here. So the minimum I can make this would be a 4 as it heads down into this fog. So 4, 8 would be 12, 1 would be 13. That is forced. 4, 8, 1. Finally, something that is a little bit easier to use. Actually, let's just go with the 2 and 9. They reveal nothing. This is on a black dot. Clearly, it can't be the 1 because that would be a 2. This has to be the 2, and this would have to be a 4. That's 2, that's 4. It's quite odd how it sometimes shows you things and sometimes it doesn't. And obviously just a bit of Sudoku that allows us to tidy up here. We have a 15 cage that doesn't include 1, 2, or 3. That ends up being forced as 4, 5, 6. This 4 is doing lots of work for us because it forces a 4 in here, and this is 5 or 6. Lovely. We've got box 7 uncovered at this point. This is 7 or 9. That's an 8. A 20 cage. Can I... So I don't have 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, if I don't use a 5, then the minimum would be 6, 7, 8, which is 21. That's too big. So I need a 5 for sure. With something that adds up to 15, it's either 6, 9, or 7, 8. And this 9 tells us what it is because the 9 is not up here. This is 5, 6, 9. These are 7 and 8. Can again do better. The 7, 9 is looking up here. That's not an 7. That's an 8. That's a 7. This is not a 9. That's as far as we can take it. What else can we do? We're now at an 11 cage in here. And it's not 2, 9. And it's not 3, 8. And it's not 4, 7. This is 5, 6. Got 5, 6 lining up together here in the column. That is a 9. Not exactly helpful. That's 5, 6 now. And we've got 5, 6s kind of lining up in the column there. So we know what these cells are, or at least we can pencil mark them. This is 3 and 8. These are, I'm going to say 7 and 9. Yeah. And then I have a 5, 6, because I've only got one of them at the moment, and a 4. So I'll just corner pencil mark the 4 for now and just hope there is more information elsewhere. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2. I mean, the 15 cage has been revealed. I probably need to think about that as well. It's just we don't have quite the same restriction that we did earlier with, you know, well, actually the 4 is actually in there. So even if we had 1, 2, and 3 known, that's not necessarily helping us solve it. So 1, 2. So 2 in this column is down here inside the 15 cage. Just Sudoku. 2, 2. None of these are 2. That's a 2. The 2 will be joined with 2 cells that add up to 13. And it's not 4, 9 because we've used the 4. So it's either 6, 7 or 5, 8. And seemingly both are possible. So if it's 5, 8, because of this 8, that's not an 8. The 8 would have to be up here. And then the rest would be 2 and then 5. It's messy. I don't know if I want to pencil mark this. And 6, 7. Let's just do this instead. What are these cells? They are obviously 7, 8, and 9. That's not a 9. This 7 or 8. Remember, this was 6 or 7. Or 5 and 8. So in a way, I have a virtual 7, 8 pair between the cage and this. So I'm going to say this has to be 9. And for a change, it actually helped me. This is now a 7, 8 pair. This is a 1, 2 pair. Come on, Sleuth, what else? These are not 4s. We've already placed it. These are not 7s. We've already placed it. You can see now just based on what we have in here. So this is 4, 5, or 6. But this has to include a 4 because there is no 4 elsewhere in the box. So that's really 4 for sure with a 5, 6 outside. And then we've got the equivalent in here, 7 for sure with a 5, 6 plus a 9. And then we actually have something that we can just pencil mark fully. So we've done 1, 2, 3. We need 4, 7, and 8. I feel like I'm just randomly pencil marking rather than thinking about how do I solve this. And maybe that's what I should be thinking of instead. What am I missing? So the 3 is not inside the 15 cage. Otherwise, we'd have to have a number of 10. 3 is down here, where it's really not doing much for us. I'm sure Flinty has designed this correctly, so what he's revealed to us should be solvable from here, or at least we should be able to get the next clue from here. And for whatever reason, I'm just not quite seeing it. These are from 4, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, we can do the same with the 1 as we did with the 2. These are 1s. This is now 1, 3 pair, not just a 3 corner pencil mark. Then we have 4 digits in here. And essentially what we have, we said that we have a 7, 8 pair. The flip side of what's meant to add to 13 is 5 or 6. So this is actually a kind of hidden 5, 6 pair. That's not exactly helping us. Not exactly helping us, no. Let's think about this. Could this be 6 and 7 now? I don't think the answer is no. Is the answer no? No, the answer is fine. That would be a 5, 6, 7 triplet. That would be a 4. That would be an 8. That actually still works. And if this is 5 or 8... yeah, this is not helpful. This is not the line to solve this. How about Sudoku, Sleuth? How about Sudoku? That's not a 4. That is a 4. That hopefully will reveal more fog, otherwise I'm really stuck. I am really stuck. Not necessarily in a bad way though. So because we've got a 5-6 pair, we actually can fill what these are meant to be now. So the 3 is down here. There is a 3 up there. Or I should say there's a 3 pencil mark corner. And the 3, oh, hang on. 8 and 5 are not in here. This is from 2. This therefore cannot be 2, 5, 8 because yes, I can place one of the 2s, but I can't place either the 5 or 8 in these 2 cells. So this is from 2, 6, 7. No 2 here. No 6 here because we've got a 5, 6 pair. So that is actually helpful. So that is 2, 7. That is a 6. That is a 5. This is an 8 now. And this is a 7. Very worried about the fact that it doesn't reveal stuff to us. The 2, 7 is looking up here. This 3 is now 3, 9. That looks correct. Yeah, 9s. This 7 does nothing. Flinty, how are you making these puzzles? This is not 5 or 6, it's a 7. This is not 7 anymore. We know what this digit is. It's an 8. Thank God something is working. Right, that white Kropki dot is helping us. That's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 9, that's a 1, 2, 1. Come on, let's keep going. 8, 3, 7, 9. And this is 4, 5, or 6. I really need to think through how we're going to solve this 4, 5, 6. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We need 4, 7, and 9 in here. Now, this is not 9. It's 4 or 7. Okay. This is not 7. This could be any of them. Then up here, I have a second 5, 6 and a second 4, 7. This is not helpful. So we're going to have to use the 17 cage. And you can see that the 17 cage is more than 2 cells. So if I make these 2 the only 2 that are in the 17, the maximum I can make it is 7 and 9. That's only 16. So it has to carry on. It's either carrying on straight and 4, 7, and 9 added up. It's too big. It's too big. I mean, do I really have to do the maths? It's 20. So this has to turn, because I think, again, oh, no, hang on, 7 and 9 turning into the 1. That does work, doesn't it? So if it turns right, then that would be 7, 4, and 6. 7, 4, and 6. If it turns left, that would be 7, 9, and 1. So in both scenarios, this is a 7. And thank goodness it reveals enough to actually know that it turns right. Therefore, that's 4, that's 6. And we're off and running again. That's a 9 now. Look at this black dot helping us again. That's got to be, it can't be a 1 because the black dot would be a 2. That's a 2, that's a 4, that's an 8, that's a 7, that's a 1. Have I done anything with the 5, 6? Of course not. Oh, hang on. Yes, I have. These are not 6s. This is a 5, 9. That's a 6. That's a 5. That's a 6. That's a 5. This is now 4 or 6. And now this is 4 or 5. Let me lose this color rather than confuse anybody. Say anybody, I really do mean myself. That 2 is looking at a 1, a 2. Sorry, I'm going to have to remove the 3 pencil marks so I can see what is that cage. So these 4 cells, yeah, that's definitely the 4 cells, add up to 18. So that's kind of the last clue I suspect we need to finish everything. Before I do that, I'm just going to have a look around if there is anything I can do, such as 7s. 7s gives me a 7. That's a 13 cage. That can only be now, it's not 9, 4, it's not 6, 7, it's 5, 8. And the last digit that is remaining is a 6. That gives us everything that we need. 4, 5. I say everything that we need. I don't actually know how to solve these two. Right, down here. We need 5, 8, and 6, I'm going to say. And the 6 can only be down here. That's a 6. This is 5 or 8. Here we need 5, 8, and 9. We need another one of those, plus a 4. And that 4 tells me that's the 4. This is 5, 8, or 9. Just looking at these pairs here that are not fully resolved. I say not pairs, but these two cells. In here, we need a 3. There's no 3 in this column. The 3 in here means that's a 1, that's a 3. Because remember, the digits do not repeat in the killer cages. So that 1, 3 had to be a 1. And that's going to do a lot of work for us now. Yeah, that's 7, that's 2. That's a 9, that's a 7. We probably have resolved these 5, 6s. Yes, we have. 6, 5. Right. That's a 3, just to complete the row. That's not a 3. I'm guessing this is 5 or 9. Let's just start doing some maths. So we've got 4 in here. I need 14. It can only be 5 and 8. 5 and 9 is 4. Sorry, it can only be 5 and 9. 5, 8 is 13. So I need the 9. I need a 5. That's an 8. And that is hopefully the correct solution, if I can actually type. And if I've not made any other mistakes, that's a 5 for the finish. Lovely puzzle. Flinty, have a heart. And, I mean, it's phenomenal construction, having fog that doesn't always reveal itself. But the problem is, it's almost like in the back of my mind constantly, hey, Sleuth, the fog didn't reveal itself. You probably mistyped something or you put in the wrong digit. But you just have to sort of proceed with confidence. And for a change, a Wrogn puzzle that just didn't drag on for me. 17 minutes, I'm pretty happy with that. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle. It was an absolute cracker in my mind. And the video. And see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.